Hello students, Mr. Sims with multiple choice review number 3. Hopefully by the time we get to review 3 and 4 moving on, some of these problems will start to look familiar as far as a lot of them repeat themselves, and hopefully you'll start to figure out how to do these problems without really having to watch the videos as much. So let's get started. This is number 1. So for number 1, all right, Heather, which inequality represents the number of texts Heather can send each month while staying within her budget? All right, so here's the thing, and a lot of this is going to boil down to, really, you can see you're either going to get 600 or 1800. So let's first focus on getting that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually work myself backwards from this. So here is $60 per month. So start with $60. $30 per month. So I'm going to subtract the 30 away, and you get 30, obviously. Okay, and then it's 5 cents per text message. So if I take 30 and I divide it by 0.05, I get 600. Okay, which is going to get rid of choices C and choices D. Okay, so then it comes down to interpretation, and the word under $60 means it has to be less than $60, choice A. All right. Number 2, okay, solving two-step equations. Okay, I'm just going to write it over here so I got some room to do some work. So first things first, if solving for x, we're going to subtract 78.2 from both sides. And we get 2, I'll save you a little bit of math here. This is going to be a calculator problem anyway, so you shouldn't have to. So I get 0.5x equals 28.8, and I divide by 0.5, divide by 0.5, and I get b. Moving on to number 3. Katie bought 4 sweaters. Each cost the same amount. All right, so what was the cost of each sweater? All right, so actually number 3 is very, very similar to number 1 as far as figuring out the number. So I'm going to work backwards from this one. It doesn't say I have to write an equation, so most of you are pretty good without the equation. So $160 before the tax is added. We're not going to worry about tax. Okay, 4 sweaters, it costs the same amount, and we bought 1 skirt for $20. So I'm going to subtract off the cost of the skirt because we already know we paid $20 for that. That means that she paid $140 for the 4 sweaters. So now I take 140 and I divide that by 4. This is also going to be a calculated problem. The answer will be B. All right. Number 4. All right. Which sign shows a proportional relationship? Okay, proportional relationship must have the same rate. Okay, so you're looking for the same rate of change. All right. So this one looks like 5 cucumbers is 250. So for every 5, it should be 250. Well, if you go up to 10, 10 for 4 is not the same. All right. 5 for $2. Good. For every 5, you should get 2 more. So for every 5, if I go up 5, I should go up 2. Okay, good so far. 5 more, add another 2. 5 more, add another 2. And the answer would be this one, BC. All right. The reason I did it this way is because with a calculator, you would be able to take and try 250 divided by 5 and show that 250 divided by 5 is not the same as $4 divided by 5. But without a calculator, that becomes difficult, and this would be a non-calculator problem. All right. Moving on to number 5. What were Doug's earnings? All right. So $10.50 an hour working at a restaurant. He spent 1 3/4 hours, 2 1/3 hours, 1 5/12 hours serving customers. So first thing you need to do is figure out how many total hours he worked. So we're going to take 1 3/4 plus 2 1/3. No, that is not the bell to leave class. 1 5/12. Well, the easy way to do this is just add the whole numbers together first. So I'm going to add these together and I get 4. So I'm going to leave that off the side. So now I got to take 3/4 plus 1/3 plus 5/12. Okay, in order to add fractions together, we have to have the same denominator. So the easiest denominator to use would be 12, the common denominator. Okay. So to get from 4 to 12, I'd have to multiply by 3. So 3 times 3 is 9. All right, multiply 3 by 4, so 1 times 4 is 4, and then the 5/12. So now you add the 9 and the 4 is 13, plus 5 is 18/12. 18/12 would be 1 6/12, which would be 1 1/2. All right, so yeah, there's a little bit of work here. Sorry, get down there where you can actually see the work. Maybe even focus it a little bit here so it's a little better. So 1 and 1/2, and you can barely see it. It's over here somewhere. So now I add that 1 and 1/2 in, and this would be a calculator problem. So you take 4, this would be 5 and 1/2. So then the next step would be to take $10.50 per hour. You may want to convert this to a fraction and make it or a decimal, make it 5.5, and you get, I believe it's choice D. Yep, you get choice D. So yeah, that's a lot of work for that one particular problem. All right. Actually, you know what? For this video, I'm going to try to do the whole thing on one, and we'll kind of go from there. We'll see if it. Test scores for students in Mr. Duffy's class, shown below. Which line plot could represent the test scores for his class? Most of the students in Mr. Guzman's class scored higher than most of the students. So that's what you're looking for. You're looking for higher scores than what he has here. Well, look at this one. A, looks like this is the exact same. I got 1, 2, 3 90s. Yep. So this is the same. So that's not higher. This one, you can tell right away that all these scores are lower. All right, this one, no 100s, 395s. Okay, but then look at, oh wait, you can't even see that one. Never mind, we'll move down. All right, the answer to this is going to be D, because here you got 3 100s, 4 95s, which is higher than those test scores up there. Move that out of the way. All right, and another percent of increase or decrease. I'm hoping that before long, everyone's going to get these questions right and not fall into that trap. All right, store sold 650 bikes. Percent of decrease. So you take 650 that it started with, you subtract the 572, you get 78. Okay, it's going to be the change over the original, so 78 over 650, because that's what you started with. X over 100, and I believe the answer to this is A. All right, good. Number 8, Sammy drew a rectangle that was W inches wide. Okay, here's the thing. I draw a picture. Okay, W inches wide. The expression 2 times 2W plus 2W represents the perimeter of the rectangle. All right, well, here all we need to do is do some simplifying. So 2 times 2W is 4W. And then another 2W equals 6W. And when you write a number next to a letter, it's implied that it's multiplication. So the answer to this will be B. The perimeter is 6 times the width. All right, just a little bit of simplifying work. All right. Number 9, third one in a row, we've had one like this where we talk about. Okay, which expression is Sally's grocery bill? Discount card that reduces by 5%. 100 minus 5% equals 95%. Convert it to a decimal. All right. The answer would be B. Number 10, the cost of oranges. So which equation best represents this relationship? Well, let's put it this way. If you find the unit rate, you'll have your answer. Okay. $2.52 divided by 6 orange is 42 cents per orange. So the answer is A. If you just find the unit rate, you'll have the answer you're looking for. Right. Number 11. Scale on a model train. 1 inch equals 3.5 feet. 1 inch equals 13.5 feet. Okay. So 5 inches long, 5 inches, X. So really all you have to do is take 13.5 and just multiply by 5. But if every inch is 13.5 feet, then 5 inches would be 13.5 times 5, which would be 67.5. All right, I believe 12. All right, this is the last one, I think. Yep. Number 12. Charis invested $140. She had simple interest of 3% per year. What was the amount of interest? All right. Well, there is the I equals PRT formula. But if you don't remember that formula, so what would happen is the principal is the 140. The rate as a decimal is 0.03, and multiply it times 2 years. Right? But if you don't remember that formula, you're going to be kind of stuck. So one thing you could do is you could do 3% of 140, which is $4.20. Save you some math here. And then you have to multiply that by 2 because it's for 2 years. So the answer to this is C. All right. So good luck as you continue watching these videos. And this is Mr. Sims signing off.